buried beneath centuries of time. Lost in the fog of French history, there lies a dark, forgotten chapter. In those distant days, fear took on many forms, and death stalked everywhere. But what if the past isn't as distant as we believe? What if the echoes of those horrors are still here, just waiting to be found? Welcome into the world of Jimmy's Randomness, a place where secrets hide in the shadows and history comes alive. Our story begins in the summer of 1764. It was a time when fear stalked the peaceful villages of France. Now, what you have to understand is, it wasn't wild animals or bandits that these people feared. Oh no. Hidden in the shadows, there lurked something far more evil. A beast that would become a legend. It was a beautiful sunny day. The sun casting its golden rays over the rolling green fields. Farmers tended their crops, and children's laughter echoed through the streets. Life was simple, unhurried, almost like a scene frozen in time. But beneath the surface, something dark was waiting. Something that would turn this peaceful place into the center of one of the darkest chapters in history. Let's meet Jen Bluey. She was just 14 years old, a young girl like any other, doing her regular daily chores. On this particular day, she was out in the fields, watching over the sheep as she had done countless times before. The sun was warm on her back, the gentle breeze rustling the grass. It was peaceful, but little did the poor girl know, the fields that had always been her sanctuary were about to become her graveyard. Now, what happened next was something straight out of a nightmare. The attack was brutal, savage, and when they found what remained of poor Jen, well, let's just say it was enough to make hardened men who had seen death before turn away in horror. The villagers were devastated, but more than that, they were terrified. Still, they tried to move on, convincing themselves it was just some freak accident. And so, for a while, they clung to that hope. But what they didn't realize was that normalcy was already gone, and the nightmare had only just begun. A month passed, and the village settled back into its rhythm. But then it happened again. A young boy this time, and just like the poor girl, his life ended in a way so horrific. It was like something straight out of a horror movie. Then 3 days later, it was a woman in her 30s, attacked right at her doorstep. Can you imagine it? Standing outside, feeling the warmth of the evening air. When suddenly you feel it, the hairs on your neck stand up, that deep, primal chill that tells you that something is very, very wrong. Well, that's exactly what she felt in her final moments. Now let's pause here for a moment. What you need to understand is that these weren't random animal attacks. These killings were something else entirely. The victims were torn apart with a savagery that seemed almost calculated. Heads were bitten clean off, throats ripped open, limbs mangled beyond recognition. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't hunting for food. It was hunting for fear. Now, about the creature itself. Witnesses described it as something between a wolf and a hyena, but then larger, much larger. The thing had a reddish-brown fur, kind of like dried blood, and this funky tassel on its tail. There was also a large dark line going down its back. Its nose was all twisted up like that of a pig's snout, but then uglier. It didn't take long before word of the killings reached King Louis XV himself. Something had to be done. The king sent Captain Jean-Baptiste Duhamel, a seasoned soldier, to Gévaudan with one job: find and kill the beast. He was convinced he could end the terror once and for all. His plan, though, let's just say it wasn't exactly traditional. The man ordered his soldiers to dress in wigs and skirts, hoping to lure the creature out by making them look like helpless villagers. For 12 long days, they searched 8 towns, watching, waiting, holding their breath with every snapped twig and rustling leaf. But the creature, it never came. It was out there, somewhere just beyond reach, watching them. By the end of February 1765, patience had run dry. This was no longer just a hunt. It was war. Reinforcements were called, and soon 20,000 men took up arms, forming one of the largest hunting parties in history. Imagine the scene. Thousands of men moving through the frozen wilderness, their breath hanging in the cold air, boots crunching in the snow. When then, it happened. Out of the shadows, the beast emerged. Massive, unnatural, its eyes gleaming in the dim light. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the animal turned, vanishing back into the forest, leaving nothing behind but silence and the slow realization that this hunt was far from over. But the king wasn't done yet. Now he sent Jean-Charles, a renowned hunter, who swore he'd kill the beast in 2 weeks. But Gévaudan wasn't giving up its monster that easily. The forests were dense, the snow relentless, and the beast, it just kept killing. In just 3 months, 29 more lives were lost. Then came Francois Antoine, the king's top hunter. And finally he succeeded, or so they thought. He shot a massive wolf that fit the description, and for a brief moment the villagers breathed a sigh of relief. But the nightmare wasn't over, as the killings didn't stop. For another 1.5 years, the beast continued its rampage. Finally, in the summer of 1767, a local innkeeper named Jean Chastel faced the beast. And this time, it was different. The creature that fell matched every description: the massive size, the blood-red fur, the black stripe down its back. Its head was sent to Versailles, but when it arrived, King Louis XV ordered to be buried immediately. Perhaps he knew that some mysteries are better left unsolved. Between 1764 and 1767, over 100 lives were claimed by the beast. And even now, to this day, no one really knows what it truly was. Was it a mutated wolf, an escaped lion or hyena, or maybe something far darker, something not of this world? And that's a wrap for this story. And so, what do you think? Could the beast still be out there, waiting in the shadows? Or was it a one-time nightmare that's best left buried in the past? One thing's for sure. In the world of Jimmy's randomness, the line between myth and reality is always thinner than you think. And hey, if you're hungry for more intriguing stories like this, make sure to check out the channel. You never know what interesting tales you might stumble upon. Subscribe, like, and I see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.